Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and today we're going to talk about bottoms. Well, the bottoms of Lego pieces. The bottoms of certain Lego pieces have changed quite a bit over time. Specifically, we see most impact with thinner plate pieces. For example, this used to be the standard bottom for a Lego 1x2 plate. Over time, they have changed it to this. Now, it's relatively the same, but it obviously has one minor difference, that hole in the center. Now, this wasn't just the case for too long pieces. This also applied to any size of that given piece. They simply took all the pieces and just added those holes on them. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea why they did this. All the modern pieces now have this hole in the middle of each of these small spaces that go in between the studs, and the only thing I can think is it's a pinhole and will fit stuff like this. Now, I have never built a MOC that's used this technique. I've never seen a MOC that's used this technique. Maybe you have. So I can't imagine that's why they added it, but maybe, and it definitely is a connection point that most people probably wouldn't think of. But that's not the only thing that's changed over time. Let's go to our favorite piece, the jumper plate. Now, the original jumper plate design looked a lot like the original plate design. Obviously, it doesn't have those two holes down inside because there's no studs. But this has changed a couple times as well. It originally changed to this, where now this looks like the newer plate design. It's got the hole in the middle. They did also add this ridge along the bottom, which is something you used to only see on Lego tiles. But I have a theory that they started adding that because of the brick separator. I think, and I might be wrong, their logic is the ability of the brick separator to use this piece or not. Now, it does work with a jumper, but the connection's not near as strong as it is with a standard plate. Obviously, with a tile, you'd have no connection with the brick separator, so that's why they do it. Also, a lot of times you'll use these in conjunction with tiles, and you can remove them by using your brick separator to go down a row and pop them off at the same time, so maybe that's why they did it as well. But this now has the ridge along the bottom to make it easier to separate from a base plate or another plate. But they didn't stop there. The latest rendition, and I can probably safely say it's everyone's favorite rendition, is this base. And now they have a big change here. As opposed to having two connection points, they now have three. Now, I should say that lightly, because depending on how you use these, it is possible to use these middle portions as connection points. You just need something with hollow studs, and then you can still connect this in three positions. But with this piece, you can connect it in three positions to anything with a stud. And they've kept this seemingly going forward with the addition of the new 1x3 jumper plate, and I did a video on this a couple days ago. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it here as well as at the end. Now they have 5 connection points using the same method. That's kind of interesting. The evolution in jumpers is very similar to plates, except when they get to the last step. And their logic might be, well, this is a jumper, so now it's a jumper on the top and the bottom. This is a plate, so it's a plate on the top and the bottom. But I would argue that this design here is proven with a 3 long, would work awesome with a 4 long, 5 long, 6 long, 7 long, they don't do 7 long, 8 long, 10 long, 12 long, and so on. And I think you could have so many cool connection points, and I would like to see this bottom be incorporated in the rest of the Lego line. Will give you a much better connection for the bases for all of these plates. Now, there is one style of piece that has even more connections than this, and that would be the 1x2 tile. The 1x2 tile has infinite connections, really. You can put this on here, and you can move it incrementally wherever you want along that axis. Now it's not going to stay in a nice clean round number without things supporting it, but you have really unlimited freedom. So let me know below in the comments what you think would be a better approach. Doing this on a long plate, this on a long plate, or keeping it the same. Now this is not the only piece that does that, but it is kind of the only family of pieces that does that. For example, they have the newer oval version that does the same thing, and everyone's favorite, the ingot, does the same thing. As far as I know, those are the only pieces that do this infinite attachment point. If you know any other ones, let me know in the comments. There might be some more out there, but those are the only ones I know. So another bottom to talk about is the 2x2 round circle tile. And this one, this is an older piece, had the X in the middle and connections on the outside. The newer version looks like this, where you have hole in the center and connections on the outside. Now, at first glance, this looks like, oh, they just added one connection point in the middle. And that's kind of true. On this piece, you have 4 connection points on the outside, and this one, 4 on the outside, 1 in the middle. But it's actually not true. This piece here actually has more connection points. It has 8 connection points, where this one only has 5, and I'll show you how. On this one, you can connect on the outside where these open gaps are. So that gives it 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, and then obviously right in the middle, and that's 5 positions. On the older style, you can connect on the outside portions where the gaps are, just the same. That'll give you 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. But you can also connect in between the outside and this middle X piece, giving you 1, 2, 3, 4 connections. Now you can't use these all at the same time because they will overlap, but you can do 2 of these at a time, which I just thought of this now. That actually makes it a jumper plate. In fact, this may be the only 2x2, 2 studs down the middle jumper plate, though it is anti-stud. And I just made that breakthrough right now, at least in my head. Maybe you guys already knew about that, but that's new to me. So that is pretty darn cool because this will convert just like that. See, these videos teach me so much stuff. Now this last one is kind of a mystery to me, and I really don't understand why it was done. This piece here has become a pretty useful piece. This is a 1x4 with just studs on the outside, smooth in the middle, and it changed. The original one looked a lot like a standard plate, but they changed it to this. And though they look quite different, the functionality is essentially the same. And I can't figure out why they changed this. It just doesn't really make sense to me. They did add the ridge here as well. Same logic. I think it's because of the brick separator. But why the different bottom? It works basically the same. So let me know if you know the differences between these in the comments below, and let me know if there's anything I'm missing in this. If there's any pieces that have unique bottoms that I didn't talk about. If there's anything else you want to add to this conversation, please let me know below in the comments. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do more just like this in the future, and we will see you next time.